get your name, actually?
Yeah, Jeff Riggall,
Excellent. So what was your official title you stated?
Director for Game Production at Cartoon.
Excellent. Actually, how exactly did you get started in this? What was your origin story? Like, what have you done beforehand?
Okay. So, let's see. I have to take a number of years back now. I started out at, I guess, on the creative side at Disney as an animator. And then from that, worked in telecom industry for a little while. And then went back on my master's in digital entertainment and interactive media. And then from that, started working at Tiburon at EA. Worked on some titles there, and then came to Cartoon Network.
Excellent. I'm actually waiting to get approved on my master's for interactive design and game development. It's actually rather interesting. What school did you go to actually to pursue that?
I went to FIA. It was University of Central Florida.
Well, that's actually rather interesting. Let's see. So you were telling me what I was actually talking about before, and I found it just very interesting because you had Adult Swim sort of start out with a lot of joke games per se, but they really starting to catch on. You're starting to see like Robot Unicorn Attack that got huge. You have a lot of these mobile games and small games sort of branching out. I mean, is this something that Cartoon Network's really going to start to get attached to, is actually developing full-fledged game studios, get like more, not only just indie, but more AAA title games, not just throwaway games that they just give to another company, you know? Something that's more internally developed?
Yeah, so, I mean, for the past probably 4 years, we've been doing a lot of mobile development. So if you look at our portfolio, a lot of it is around the mobile products that we put out, either ad products or premium direct-to-consumer products. And yeah, they're definitely not marketing throwaway applications or games. They're much more in-depth, very high polish and quality to them. And yes, now we're really getting into more of the console space with a couple of titles we just announced recently. OKKO, Let's Be Heroes is a new IP we just launched, and we're working on a game with Capybara. And then the other title we just announced was Save the Light, which is going to be a console title with Grumpy Face Studios. So both of those are going to be more of your AAA style games.
All right, because I'm very familiar with Capybara. You mentioned another game, actually. Are you actually working on an original IP from the ground up that's not just based off a Cartoon Network show, per se?
So it's actually a brand new IP that we just announced, but it will be an actual Cartoon Network show as well to go alongside it.
So it's very interesting. Of course, I got to drag Nickelodeon into it because I always found it very fascinating because, of course, I love Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, but I always noticed, in particular, Nickelodeon would always go to other studios, per se, and don't want to belittle them, aside from maybe from Battle for Bikini Bottom, which actually was sort of an anomaly. It just really feels like a lot of fluff, and a lot of it is not just really, hey, we're going to create a game, hey, we're going to actually just have another vessel to promote the product that's already there. What's your whole philosophy, I guess, with developing games, and why would you guys sort of like, comparing to Nickelodeon, what did you guys really want to do different, you know?
So I guess one of the big things is to find quality developers that we want to work with and actually grow with that developer versus just a quick one-shot, build a game, and move to the next. I'm not saying that that's what Nickelodeon does, but that's a philosophy for us, is we want to actually build multiple products with these developers, and as they grow, we grow with them, and we can actually build bigger and better things, really grow worlds together, grow environments together with these spaces that we're creating. So I guess that's one of the biggest philosophy differences we may have, is it's not just work with somebody and then we leave them and go find somebody else. We want to really spend time with that developer, get to know that developer, understand their processes, how they do things, how they think, in turn how they understand how we think and what our expectations are. And really we bond together really well. So with most all the developers that we work with, it's not a developer and a publisher relation, it's more of a blended, everybody's kind of co-developing together. So
that's actually quite fascinating. I guess that's why you can see such a huge quality jump with your games, and how, again, like I played a lot of the Adult Swim games and some of the other Cartoon Network games, it just doesn't feel like just a throwaway thing. It feels like there's actually a lot of passion into it and a lot of thought into it. And what's even more interesting is I actually had previous experience working at GameStop. This was a while ago, but one issue I had was there wasn't too many games that kids could play that were actually of a high quality. And especially, not saying that you just directly appeal to children, because I know Steven Universe has a huge adult fan following. I guess, what is your philosophy when it comes to actually developing games that are both for kids and adults?
Yeah, so the first thing is we do try to hit our core demo, which is 6 to 11, primarily boys. But then from that, we always try to look at our games as something that's going to grow out for everyone to love and enjoy. So not just that child, but that adult, that teenager. You know, as you were mentioning, Steven Universe is a great example that goes a bit older. Adventure Time is another one, which definitely went to an older crowd. So everything that we do, we try to keep those sensibilities. We want to build something that's easy for someone to get into and love, but at the same time, it's got some depth to it that they start to see, and allowing maybe those older or more interested gamers or fans to kind of come and really get their teeth into something. So.
Yeah, because I can see one very interesting thing I often saw was everyone picking up the Lego games in particular. I actually have a close friend of mine, he's NYPD, he has twins, hardly has any time to really game or hang out with his kids, and he has a lot of trouble sort of mixing the two because a lot of the games, aside from the Lego games, there isn't really anything of quality that he can both legitimately enjoy with his children and he himself can enjoy it as well. I guess, would that be something like Cartoon Network's really interested in, would be pursuing games maybe for entire families to enjoy together?
Yeah, that's definitely in our DNA. I mean, one of the very first projects I ever had when I came to Cartoon was Fusion Fall, and that was an MMO that we developed with that exact principle in mind, was something where you could play as a family. You know, your kids could play with you, you would be into it as well as an adult, and we've got mini games that we kind of feel that same way with. Some of them are definitely single player, kind of just go off to the side and kind of play it experiences, and there's others that are much more couch co-op style, get everyone together and actually enjoy this.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed, because another sad thing too with a lot of modern games, you're seeing so little couch co-op games, and I feel, especially for families, especially old Nintendo, I feel had it right to the point where I actually went out and even bought a GameCube recently, so I didn't really have anything where I can play with my brother. Hell, even my mom would actually get into the games, but we're having this sort of die off. I guess, what is your idea behind what would be the future, I guess, for more children-based games or family-based games? Do you think this is going to be something that's really going to catch on with other industries like Nickelodeon or other Disney as well? Or do you think they're more still stuck kind of back and trying to just promote the products as something else?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't know, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, I think couch co-op style games is a unique niche, and if you're in it to make a lot of money, you may not be able to make a lot of money. I mean, you have to have a fairly decent hit versus if you're making something that's a little bit more, I don't know, globally accepted for someone to play. But, I mean, it's definitely something we're interested in. We want to experiment with it. But at the same time, you're also trying to make sure that you're getting your IP out there, that you're honoring the brand and getting the brand out for everyone as well. So.
Excellent. And I guess what is the future that you guys see? I guess I can't bug you, of course, about any projects that's down the pipe because you haven't announced yet, but what can we expect to see for the future of the games and Cartoon Networks? What is your plan of action going forward?
I mean, to continue what we're doing and continue to grow on that. As I mentioned, releasing 2 major console titles this year, self-published console titles this year, with additional ones, in the years to come, and really taking a really strong look at what we want to do in that space.
So basically just keep kicking ass and going forward.
There you go. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much, actually.
No problem.